A man lived with his 10-year-old daughter on the border of a small village surrounded by beautiful forests and hills. He could not afford to send his daughter to school as he did not have much money. However, his daughter is very happily living with her father. The reason for her happiness is not only her father but also a 10-year-old boy. He was a boy studying in a school near that village. He has to go that way every day to go to school. That's when the boy became a friend of the girl. He would play with the little girl every evening and leave after drawing a picture. If the girl forgets herself and is very happy because of this reason, one day suddenly the boy stopped seeing the girl. The reason was that the boy's parents had taken him to a nearby town. The woman was very sorry to hear this. She was suffering from longing because she could not see him only friend. However, due to her father's love and caress, she recovered a bit and returned to normal, but it did not last long. She was the one who separated from her father. Again, she was suffering from longing and loneliness and her eyes were troubled. A few years later, a girl working in a restaurant in a small town can be a little tough and she doesn't talk much to anyone and stays quiet. One day, a young man from a company near its canteen came there for food. He was very angry when he saw the woman serving food there. He left there very angry. Days passed like this. One day, the girl was walking along a tree-lined road when a two-wheeler hit her and drove away. On that day, the boy, who was leaving the cafeteria in anger, saw the girl who had stumbled and gently lifted her to sit. Then he slowly picked her up and walked towards her house, resting her head against his shoulder. On the way, he asked the woman what was the reason for her angry speech and silence. To which the woman told what had happened to her and said that she developed this trait to protect herself. Hearing what she said, he thought that he should take good care of her from now on. Then eagerly he started to get very close to her. This guy's behavior made her feel like she was so happy like everyone else that she always had a smile on her face. They were very surprised to see her in the cafeteria. Both of them started spending more time together. And so, the boy stopped seeing her at the moment when her happiness was growing beyond measure. As days passed, her heart was sad and her eyes were troubled. Thinking of this, she was sitting on a chair in the middle of a park and her eyes widened. A hand caressed her cheek as tears fell from her eyes. She looked up at the person she was shaking hands with. As soon as she saw it, she hugged him tightly. She was happy to see him again. The next day, he took her to a small village. He took him to a dilapidated house on the outskirts of the town. She stared at the house. Then he sent her alone. She slowly walked in. After a few minutes, she rushed out and hugged him. Then he destroyed her and went inside where she stood leaning on his shoulder as she looked at the childish paintings pasted on the wall.